everyone.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, Shanequa?
I'm okay today.
You doing okay today?
I'm okay. I'm making it.
You're making it. Alrighty. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you again. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us every week.
Yes.
So keep doing that. And before we get into anything else, I don't want to forget.
Follow us on
Where do you follow people?
Instagram.
You follow on Instagram.
You follow on Instagram.
Like us on YouTube.
Like us on YouTube. Like subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe, share, comment. Okay, and what do you do on Facebook?
Like
on Facebook as well. Okay, we're missing something. Smash
that like button. Subscribe, y'all. Get our numbers up.
But we're missing something.
Twitter.
like you like
Twitter.
To say tweet.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us. And
we gotta get active on Twitter though.
We have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I have to get active on everything. I'm not active on
You do. You gotta step your social media presence up.
I do.
Because it all falls on me, y'all.
I have to say yes. I agree.
Step your social media up.
That has to do with social media. I just cannot find my rhythm or something. Just
play with it a little bit.
I know.
And just have balance. That's it. I'm only going to do it from, I don't know, 3 to 5 or 3 to 4:30.
Right.
But you find your balance that way and
I
getting
just
your rhythm.
can't sit still.
Do it from the computer. That may be better.
Okay. I may be able to sit still for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you heavy sigh? What are we talking about today?
Okay. So before I guess set it up for you to share as much as you want to.
Yeah.
With this new experience that you had last week, it's been a week or two now. About a week and a half.
Thursday, so Thursday will make a week. No. I can't remember. I'm so sorry, y'all. My mind is kind of like all over the place. I'm not really here.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Tell us why. What has happened within the last 2 weeks, let's say?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a very frightening experience. Okay. So if you follow us routinely and regularly, you would notice that we didn't post or upload any content last week. That is because primarily my family and friends and I were dealing with a tragedy. My husband was hit by a train on November 20th.
Scary.
So scary. I was all sorts of scary, frightened, and any other emotion that just kind of represents terror.
Right.
And anxiety all mixed into one is what I have felt and have been feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And when the news came out, right, a lot of friends were texting, asking what's happened, what's going on. And I'm getting a lot of questions that I don't feel that it's my place to I don't want to tell the story.
Right.
Because one, I don't have, all of the information, but two, it's not my story to tell. So if you don't mind, just walk us through that morning. I mean.
Okay. So he leaves the home. So he has to be to work at 5 a.m. So he leaves the home like any other morning. He kissed me goodbye. And so I fall back to sleep. So around 5:04, my phone rings, and it's him.
Okay.
And at the time, you know how several things can run through your mind at just one time?
Like 1 second.
In like 1 second. So I just imagine all these scenarios like he must have, if he's calling me, he must have gotten into it with somebody at work. You know, it must be something work related, or the car stalled out. He may have a flat tire. He's on the side of the road or something like that. Never once in all of the scenarios I thought hit by a train was one.
I mean, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
Mm-hmm.
So he said those words, so I answer hello, and he says those words, like, he says, baby, I was hit by a train. Of course, he's not as calm. There, in that moment, I heard fear in his voice. I can just imagine how afraid he was, how scared he was. He was alone, not knowing the extent of his injuries. Just the sudden shock of everything was very traumatizing for him. So when he uttered those words to me, it was so surreal. I was like, huh? Like, say that again? Right. You were hit by a train? And then he said, I was hit by a train, and I heard him grimacing and with pain. And then it hit me like he was hit by a train. Oh, my God. So then that's when all the feelings and fear just kind of rushed to my head and heart at once. So, you know, in that moment, you are doing what you have to do to get out of the house. Right. Because I got to get to him. I have to get to him. But before I get to him, I have to wake my daughter up to let her know. Her father was hit by a train, which is why I'm leaving the home. So I told her that, and, you know, I couldn't get into a lot of, you know, I didn't have time to get into it.
And you didn't know much.
And I didn't know much. Yeah. Just that, and, you know, Your Honor, be here to get you, but hey, this is what it is. Get ready, you know, get you and your sister ready so that you all can leave the house. And I ended up getting to the hospital before him. Okay. Before he arrived.
So you knew what hospital he was going to be
I knew what hospital because my father-in-law called me. But he was able to place 2 phone calls. He called me, and he called his father.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so my father-in-law told me which hospital to go to. Okay. So that's where I went. And as I stated before, I beat him there. And it was about, when he got there, it was about an hour and a half before I got to see him because the trauma team had to run their tests. Mm-hmm. They had to assess him first. They had to rush to him first. So once he was stabilized in a condition where I could see him, they let me back.
What was going through your mind during that hour and a half?
I mean, as you can imagine, that was like the most... It felt so long. I mean, I'm in the hospital, in the emergency room, not knowing what am I going to see when I see him. So I'm expecting the best but preparing for the worst. Right. Like, Shanequa, try to remain calm. Try to keep, like, your facial expressions in check, because what if he's badly bruised, like, as I imagine, like he's badly bruised, or... What if he lost a limb? Right. Like, I didn't know. What if he lost an arm or leg? What if they tell me he's paralyzed? What do we do? So many things ran across my mind, and I just did what I know to do in that moment when you're so scared and you're so fearful. It's to pray. I had to shift the atmosphere, and I had to sit those negative thoughts down, right? Like, they were real thoughts, but I couldn't let them
take over
and take control, right? So I had to go with what I knew to do, which was pray, trust, believe, and have my assurance in God. So I cannot talk about this story without speaking of God, because this is a miracle that happened, that we witnessed with Howard.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, while you have all of these thoughts rushing through your mind, and you trying to keep them organized or trying to keep them under control, what do you do to not lose your mind? Because that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And that's, okay, so that's your answer.
So I plugged into the source. And I prayed. I meditated on positive things. I remember promises that God told me. So I had to rely on that in that moment. Even though I am faced with fear and I'm looking fear right in the face, I had to remember what I knew and what I know to be true. Right. And that's God's promise.
Okay. So at some point, do you make the conscious decision, or at any point are you aware enough to say, it's okay to feel all these feelings, but I have to defer, like you love to say.
I love to say defer. Right. I did make the conscious decision to go through it, sit with it, feel it, because that's what we pretty much we try to teach our children to do, right? And those that we serve, we try to teach them to just feel it, because ignoring the pain doesn't make it go away, or knowing the feeling doesn't make it go away. So I felt all of the fear, because I don't know if you guys remember on the episode before that I shared that when I feel it. Like I really feel whatever the feeling is in that moment. So I had to sit with that, knowing that this is real, right? But I have to kind of think higher, that I realize it's here, but I can't allow it to drive. Like I can't allow it to be in the driver's seat. It's here in the car with me. It's in the passenger seat, like, because it's real, and we're dealing with a real situation, right? And it doesn't negate reality that this is bad. Right. This is bad. But I could not allow it to, as you stated, overtake me and consume me. I didn't want to be consumed with fear. Yeah.
But doesn't it make it worse? Because now you are dealing with your husband being hit by a train. Yeah. I mean, this is not something that you hear all the time. Right. Not only that, to hear that someone who was hit by a train, to be able to place a phone call and now be able to tell the story, right? So it's so much more behind
It's layers, right? And it just kind of keeps unfolding. Right. The more you sit and process with it and sit on it, and it's like, wow, man, you really have a story to tell. Because who can you look to in reference to say, okay, I was hit by a train and I survived? Because usually people don't survive those situations.
just for anybody, and this is something that Tommy has said. It's like, I mean, the dude has to be like Superman or something, or whatever Superman was taking, like something, because you don't hear someone say, I got hit by a train. Like, right. You don't meet someone who can tell that story.
That can tell that story, and not just I got hit by a train, that, yes, Howard did sustain a lot of injuries, but not as devastating as it should be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I mean,
or what it could be.
That's kind of like I try to get my mind moved past that, but I'm like, he
made a phone call.
Two phone calls.
He
made 2 phone calls.
He made 2 phone calls. He said he patted, once he kind of came to, he patted his pants, and he felt his phone, and he said, let me call my wife. But I gotta call my wife.
Something also about when the paramedics got to him.
Yeah. So he mentioned that when he came to, it was very difficult for him to breathe. It was very painful for him to breathe. So he had a lot of pain in his stomach and chest area. As a result, so he was kind of shifted to the passenger side he was hit on the driver's side, mind you. Okay. So
it was a direct impact.
It was a direct impact, and I believe he ended up on the passenger side. But he said that he was slumped over. He just remembered being slumped over because it was hard to breathe. And the paramedic came. They thought it was no survivors. They didn't think it was any survivors. So he could hear the talk, like, I don't think anyone survived. And then someone tapped, or he may have said, buddy, are you are you with us?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, can you open the door? I need to get out.
Get me out. Get me
Because he couldn't open the door. Right.
Because now I'm claustrophobic. Let me out, right?
Is the car going to explode?
You
see the movies.
Yes, yes.
When things like that happen, you don't know if the gas is leaking or what. Is the car going to explode in a minute? So,
right,
yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, because I was thinking also, and that's where I was going before. You are now trying to manage your emotions of having your husband being involved in such a terrible accident.
Yeah.
Now you go to the hospital, but now you have no support system in the hospital.
No.
Because they're not allowing anybody else.
Correct.
In the hospital. So now that's another layer.
Yeah, that's another layer. That is another layer. And, you know, but even though I didn't have the physical support, this physical presence, I still felt the support because my aunt, I'm telling you, she was on this phone, texting and calling nonstop, very worried, wanting to know if I was alone, what could she do to help. So you were, even though I wasn't really responsive, but at the time, you were calling and checking on me, and Amanda. So my friend Amanda, she works across the street. Actually,
really? Amanda works across the street?
She works at EVMS.
Oh, Mary, huh? Okay.
Mary. She works at EVMS. So she just said, I'm coming. I'm coming to see you. And she texted and said, hey, I'm in the emergency room. So I went down to the area, and, you know, it's like you don't know what you need, really,
right,
until it's kind of there, because I didn't know that I really needed to see her like I did.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's okay, you don't have to come. She's like, no, I'm coming. So when she got there, girl, she hugged me. And I just released. I just didn't even know.
You have to.
You
needed that, and you didn't know that you needed that at that moment.
Yes.
Because you go into this, and I'm saying this because I know you, that you go into this mode of things gotta get done.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of push my feelings and my emotions right now, just put them to the side for a little bit. Because this has to get done.
Right.
And you're not able to see past that.
Right. No,
so,
I get real tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like, no, I just need to be here for Howard. Don't feel right now. Just be here for him, when really in that moment, that was all I needed.
Right.
Was an embrace from a loved one. So thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
We can count on you, Mary.
Yes. Inside joke.
Yeah, inside joke, yes. Okay. Wow. So, another layer, right?
Another layer.
Because now he's released from the hospital.
He is.
And how has life changed?
So, we're talking about someone who was very independent, active, going to the gym several times per week, to someone who's now immobile, pretty much. I mean, he can hop around to the bathroom, but he's pretty much immobile, right? Because he can't bear any weight on the leg that he had surgery on, and he needs help. And I see him struggle with still wanting that independence. Like, I got it. I could do it. Even when it comes to, I'm so sorry, like bathing.
Mm-hmm.
I have to assist you with that. But he'll go and he'll try to do things on his own. And I get it. So I do let him do what he can do. Mm-hmm. And I just offer my help when, I see that he needs it. Okay. But yeah. Long recovery.
It's going to be
a long road, a long recovery, but we're hopeful, and that each day he'll regain his strength.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
So for people who may be in similar situations where they have to care for someone, for a loved one, who was previously independent, or I guess we usually see it from the person who's hurt or the person who is now disabled per se perspective, and knowing what they need. But from your own experience, what do you need? What do the caregiver needs in this type of situation?
That is a great question that I don't know if I know how to answer it, because I kind of don't know what I need until I need it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you mentioned before about, the hug.
Right.
You know, that you didn't know that you needed a friend to be there, and Amanda came and embraced you, and at that moment you were like, oh, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, I guess I would say, being available for that caretaker in terms of, if they need someone to talk to, if they need to vent, if they need to have a moment, just be available. No judgment. Have an open mind. If you really want to support, just ask maybe how you can in that moment. Because I may say now, no, I can't think of anything, but during the day-to-day routine, there is something that I may say, wow, I think Mercedes could help me with this, or I think so-and-so could help me with this, even if it's nothing but, could you research this, or could you look into this, or I may pull on, like with my aunt. My aunt is a registered nurse, and so I've been pulling on her a lot for questions that I may have about medication or just things in general. Am I doing this right? Should I do this?
So you're pulling on her strengths, things that she has knowledge
absolutely.
on. And that's,
absolutely.
Good.
So just knowing that your support it doesn't always have to be a physical or tangible support. Like, I need you here with me. It could be an area that you're strong in, or your strength that you could still lend to that person.
Right.
Sometimes even if they don't ask for help, because lots of times we don't know. We really don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point. And I'm glad that you feel empowered enough, and I thank you for opening up, because this is really tough.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say that we continue to relive, the experience every time we talk about it. So I can only imagine how difficult this is, but sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes the more we talk about it, the better it starts feeling at some point.
I know for me, talking is very therapeutic.
Okay.
That's probably why I talk all the time.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
All the time. And about because talking helps me.
Right.
It helps me to get whatever is in out, because I don't want stuff to fester.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that not knowing, and you made a good point about your support system being available and trying to figure out what you may need. Right. And maybe give you ideas.
Yeah.
And, okay.
We'll give them
you
ideas.
Say you don't need help with anything. What about this?
That?
And what about that? But at the same time, I think it's important to remind caregivers that it's okay to ask for help, because a lot of times it may come from this place of, one, I'm used to handling all of this on my own, so this is just one more thing that I need to figure out.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to disrupt somebody's routine, or I don't want to inconvenience someone else. When there are people who may be there ready and available to help you, but they just, the same way that you don't know what you need,
they don't know.
They may just not know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I can tell you, one of the things this whole experience has taught me is that strength is not always determined by how much one can bear, like how much you can bear, but also in your ability to yield and to receive help. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely... I'm learning. I am learning that it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay.
It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive it.
Right. It's okay to accept it.
It's okay to accept it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times when for individuals with the type of personality that you have, which is, that independency and just being able to just get things done when they need to be, when they need to be done, it creates maybe this false perception where we feel that, oh, we can handle anything.
Yeah.
We got it. And then in the meantime, because the way that I'm learning to accept it is I may be blocking somebody's blessing, because if somebody wants to help you in any way and it's genuine and it's coming from their heart, I believe that what you put out there is going to come back.
It's going to come back.
So you are blocking people from getting the blessings.
And you're blocking your own blessings, because if you put out there, then you're just reaping what you put out there. You give and it shall be given unto you, So there have been many seeds that I've sown. People that I know and don't know. People that, that it's like, okay, so now, Shanequa, is your time, to now pull on. So I look at it like this. We make spiritual deposits, right? So now I'm able to withdraw from what I've been depositing for so long.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for allowing me to share. And
but how are you going to moving forward? Because we talked about it's going to be a long recovery.
It is.
So,
and I don't think just physical.
No, and that's what I wanted to get to before you wanted to stop. But because it's going to be a long recovery physically, right? But we cannot detach the spiritual or the emotional from the physical.
Correct.
How do you think, and maybe this is a premature question, or maybe this is a question that I shouldn't ask, but we among friends. So what is your plan
in terms of what?
Continue to maintain your positive attitude, to continue to, and I know you always talk about, you are going to defer. But let's move away from that for a little bit. Not disconnecting from the main source and the all-powerful, but just as humans, right? As a human being. How do you plan to feed your emotional state to make sure that you continue to keep a healthy and balanced well-being, to be able to care, because now you're caring for, of course, you're caring for your husband, but you also have your girls. And as a mom, that doesn't go away. The responsibility as a parent, that doesn't go away. Now, the thing is that now you have to take on some of those maybe responsibility that Howard used to kind of help you with, and it's all on you, plus making sure that you are there for him physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
Wow.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a loaded question that I don't know if I really have all the answers to that. Okay, one thing that I said I was going to do was read literature.
Okay.
On like the role of a caretaker, and then how the caretaker receives care. Like how do they still maintain that self-care? So read literature on that. Try to still have self-care.
Okay.
Maybe I could arrange it with family, where if someone may sit at the house a couple of hours, that will allow me time to do what I need to do. Whether that's coming in the office for a few hours just to detach, or do things leisurely.
Walk around Target or something. I don't know.
Walk around Target.
Going shopping, going food shopping, going to the supermarket.
Right. Those things. Yeah. So, I mean, I think for now, like, that's all I have. But I'm sure that will evolve the more. Because I've just been kind of like jolted into this role a week and a half ago.
Right.
So I'm still learning a lot and pulling on like I said, the strength. His sister is a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt is a nurse, so they're in caretaker roles. I know. Well, they were when my aunt was, as far as working in the hospital, direct care. But they are currently in. One is currently in a caretaker role, so maybe getting some tips from her on, how do you keep yourself self-care? Because, you do this day in and day out, multiple hours a day. Mm-hmm. So what do you do for self-care? How do you keep yourself focused and balanced with coming home and still having to do with the kids and everything? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to I'm going to utilize all my resources now. Mm-hmm. I really am. I'm going to utilize all my resources.
Right. Right. I think I something that you said at the beginning, so what I can give you as a friend mm-hmm. is something that you already said that you want to give yourself, or that you gave to yourself at the moment when you were in the hospital. And for every caretaker out there, I think it's very important to acknowledge your feelings, to understand that it's okay to feel certain ways, because it's going to happen. And it can be feelings of frustration, feelings of sadness, fear, the unknown, and, and feeling uncertain and anxious. Right. And just being able to just sit with those feelings, acknowledge those feelings, and be compassionate. Correct. With yourself and towards yourself, and empathetic. Yeah. And just reminding yourself that it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I don't think there should be such thing as being 100% it's okay to be selfish, when it comes to taking care of your own emotional state. And if that means that, I gotta pick up the phone and say, Medina, you need to come and just sit with your brother for a few hours, because I need to get away from him, because I'm at that point. I'm at that point. I don't know if he's gonna make it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Right. But I just need a break. It's okay. Right. It's okay. Yeah. And I'm glad that you were able to recognize that from the beginning, because that, not knowing that, or not understanding that, or not acknowledging that, is what may lead to that burnout and compassion fatigue. And the burnout and the compassion fatigue can lead to that resentment. Absolutely. Yep. So I'm so proud of you. Thank you. I'm really, really, really proud of you. I appreciate it. One thing I do want to leave you all with, that if I had to take away anything from this situation, that would be that, because he feels like he has this second chance at life now, right? So whenever God has a plan and purpose for your life, His grace and His favor is unmovable and it's unstoppable. That not even a train can stop it. So when you have work to do, it will get done. Yep. Nice. And we'll end there. Nice. Not before. Don't think we're not going to do Would You Rather. Huh? We're going to do Would You Rather. This is such an emotional moment. And I'm getting out my emotions right now. And I'm going to tap into the other one. Humor. I thought I was going to get away with this one. I was trying to be great job. Intentional, and so let's talk about your feelings, because maybe she will forget about. No, it's okay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Would you rather? This one is say. Okay. Straight up. No, I'm not going to read your questions. Right. Go on. Would you rather? Because I want to write something so I don't forget. Oh. Go on. I'm listening. Well, I can't see. Would you rather have 3 feet or 3 hands? Huh? Here we go. See what I'm saying? Why do I have to have... Would you rather have 3 feet or 3 hands? I'd rather have a tail that can be removed. I'd rather have 3 hands, because I already trip enough off 2 feet. Oh gosh, yes, you can. You don't even know how to walk with 2. That's what I'm saying. So you'd rather have 3 hands. What would you rather have? Yeah. You see, I'm going to sound
She looked
very.
at her feet.
Well, because if I'm going to have an extra feet, that means that I'm going to have an extra leg.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound really, really considered, but I love my legs, so I'm gonna say I wouldn't mind looking at another
leg. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be able to control fire or water?
Wow. Well, it depends. Are we like in the middle of a couple weeks? What is it called? A couple weeks or something like that? Where it's.
Would you rather be able to control fire or water? See, I'm gonna start redirecting some of this behavior.
I'm going to say water because of where we are.
Yes. Okay.
What would you rather control?
Water.
Why?
Same reasons, and it's a fear I have of water. So.
And you don't have a fear of fire?
I do, but I feel like there's no way out for me with water. I feel like I can run through fire. I can stop, drop, and roll. It's things that I learned to do with fire.
Iron Man. So you really think you can run through fire just like that?
I can get through it. A firefighter can come rescue me. I just feel like I don't have a chance going underwater. I don't have a chance, so I'd rather hold that back. Next, would you rather look young and feel old, or look old and feel young?
Do I rather look young but feel old?
Yeah.
Or
look old
and feel young?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Would you rather?
That doesn't.
It can be possible.
Because if you look old,
there are some young people who feel.
How old are we talking about? Like when I'm in my 80s or when I'm in my 20s? Like, because there's a difference.
Yeah. Whatever's old to you and whatever's young to you. You see how you set the marker for those things. I don't. You determine it.
Okay, so since I can determine anything I want, because it's my answer,
exactly,
my very logical answer, or illogical answer, I'm going to say I'd rather look young and feel old, because feeling old to me means like my feet hurt sometimes, or my back hurts sometimes.
Okay.
All
right. Last one. Would you rather never have a painful period cramps again, or never have to shave again?
That's easy for me. See, because I don't have a lot of hair, so I don't really have to shave.
Oh, see?
So
you would never have painful period cramps. Awesome.
What am I not shaving though?
See? Whatever. See? It's never shave again.
Well, no, but you said shave, but that doesn't mean that I can wax.
That's right.
Okay, so I can wax and do anything else but shave.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So I go with the no cramps.
Okay. Awesome, guys. This was a great conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I was going to say again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
Your life-changing experience.
Yeah.
And I do want to share with everyone that one of Howard's friends, I know you didn't want me to say this, but I'm going to say this. One of Howard's friends started a GoFundMe account, or organized a GoFundMe account. We are going to have the link.
Yes.
For you, either somewhere here, or we're gonna post it in the description of our video. So any way that you can contribute, any little, big, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have to remember again that it doesn't end here. It's not that Howard survived an accident, such a terrible accident. It's the time that is going to take for recovery, and throughout that time, Howard is going to be without an income. He's out of work. And I know if you know this one, right here. She doesn't like asking for help. But in this situation, I, as a friend and her family and her other friends, because you have a lot of friends who love you and want to be there for you, we encourage you to contribute in any way you can. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I would. My family and I would definitely appreciate it. So thank you so much. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel.
She's not
like
that part.
This video. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Like us on Facebook. I enjoyed my time with you all today. Remember, life doesn't have to be this or that. It should be this and that.
Adios.
Bye.